After that previous presentation, I will explain how you will gain your income from it. 1. First, we have what we call retail profit. Retail profit is the revenue received from buying it with the distributor price and selling the product at the retail price. But we will not focus on that. We will focus on how to build a network. Now let me explain to you one by one on where the bonuses you receive will come from. You entered this business through a sponsor. A sponsor is someone who introduced this business to you. Whereas the sponsor has joined our business called Winnerlite, and then your sponsor joined the support system called FaithNet Global. I will explain later on what Winnerlite and FaithNet Global are. After you join this business and then you refer this business to others, for example A and B, this business is actually very simple because everyone can do it as long as you can recommend it to someone else. Like if you recommend someone to a certain restaurant, a certain movie, or go to a certain doctor, etc. If you can do this, then you can do this business. If you have referred A and B into this business, it depends on where A and B choose their entry level. There are 4 entry levels here. First, Diamond. We will receive 30 sets, a quick start bonus of 540 Singapore dollars and a 1,500 PV. Second, Platinum. We will receive 12 sets, a quick start bonus of 216 Singapore dollars and 600 PV. Third, Gold. We will receive 5 sets, a quick start bonus of 90 Singapore dollars and 250 PV. Fourth, Silver. We will receive 1 set, a quick start bonus of 18 Singapore dollars and 50 PV. For example, you refer this to A and B. If A joins the Diamond level, you will receive a quick start bonus of 540 Singapore dollars. If B joins the Platinum level, you will receive a quick start bonus of 216 Singapore dollars. So your total amount of the quick start bonus will be 756 Singapore dollars. That is just the quick start bonus. Besides that, you will also receive what is called a multiplier bonus. The multiplier bonus is calculated based on the point value or PV. In this example, if A joins at the Diamond level, then there is a point value of 1,500 PV. B joins at the Platinum level, so the point value is 600 PV. The formula for the multiplier bonus is 10% from the lesser legs. In this example, with A and B, B is the lesser leg, so you will get the multiplier bonus of 600 PV times 10%. You will receive an additional $60 US with the 756 Singapore dollars. Let's say that in the first week, you introduce this to 2 people. Then in the following week, A introduces it to A1 and again to A2. Maybe A1 and A2 are people that you know, or maybe you don't know them at all. And the B does the same thing. B introduces B1 or B2, but besides that, you have another direct sponsor. For example, C. You place C under A1. Then you meet D and put D under B2. And for instance, you meet someone again, E. In this case, you introduce 3 people, which is called direct referrer or direct sponsor. I assume that there are 7 transactions in the second week. I assume that all join on the Diamond level. This will make it easier for you to comprehend thus how commissions are calculated. If the quick start bonus of Diamond level is 540 Singapore dollars, which means you will receive 540 Singapore dollars from C, 540 Singapore dollars from D, 540 Singapore dollars from E, thus the total of 1,620 Singapore dollars. And how much is the multiplier bonus? We can calculate from the example here. In Group A, there are 3 transactions. We multiply it with 1,500 PV, which means there is 4,500 PV. But remember, last week you still had an unaccounted PV or bonus that hasn't been calculated. With this example, you have 1,500 PV on A minus 600 PV on B equals 900 PV that you will carry over to the following week, which is 4,500 PV, making the total of the week to be 5,400 PV under your A group. And under your B group, there are 4 transactions times 1,500 PV equals 6,000 PV. Now remember, the formula is 10% from the lesser legs. Therefore, you will get 10% times 5,400 PV equals 540 US dollars, along with the 1,620 Singapore dollars. You may notice that whether you know A1, A2, B1 or B2 or not, it does not matter. All of their bonus calculations are included in your group. What do you think the network will go further? Faster or slower? Logic dictates it will go faster and bigger. Let's say after 6 months the total volume of A group is 150,000 PV and the total volume of B group is 100,000 PV. As you get 10% from the lesser legs, then you will get 10% times 100,000 PV equals 10,000 US dollars. The good news is you are allowed to develop more than 2 legs, and that is up to 5 legs. So you can develop leg X, Y, and Z. The company do not limit the depth. They do, however, limit your weekly income to the maximum of 10,000 US dollars per leg, with a maximum of 5 legs. However, you can introduce more than 5 direct sponsors and place the rest below each leg. If one day your X, Y, and Z groups are maxed out, then you get 10% times 100,000 PV, and you also get 10,000 US dollars from X, 10,000 US dollars from Y, and 10,000 US dollars from Z. Therefore, your potential maximum income out of multiplier bonus is 10,000 US dollars times 4 weeks. Since you have 4 legs, then times 4 legs, so the total amount of 160,000 US dollars. But I say it's unlimited? How come? Because there is a 4th bonus, called the leadership bonus. Where does it come from? It comes from your direct sponsor. If you introduce a direct sponsor, then you get 10% of his multiplier bonus. For example, if I move this here, then this will happen. This is you. If you introduce one direct sponsor, let's say A here, you will get 10% of his multiplier bonus at the first level. If you introduce 3 direct sponsors, A, B, and C, then you get 10% at the first level and 10% at the second level. If you introduce 5 direct sponsors, A, B, C, D, and E, you will get 10% at the first level, 10% at the second level, and 10% at the third level. This is remarkable. Why? Let's say A introduced 20 or 30 people. You still get 10%. The good news is you still get the 10% from the second level and the third level if you introduce 5 direct sponsors. If I move 5 legs here, you will see the table here is A, B, C, D, E, X, Y, Z. That's 8. But you can introduce unlimited direct sponsors, not just 8. You can introduce 10, 20, 30, or even more than 100. One more thing you should pay attention to is E, which is at level 4 of your multiplier bonus. But he is still at level 1 of your leadership bonus. So however deep you place someone on a multiplier bonus, as long as he is a direct sponsor, he will be assumed as a level 1. Now, why are we focusing on joining in Diamond? Because Diamond's income for multiplier bonus per leg per week is $10,000 US. The Platinum per leg per week is $6,250 US. The Gold is $1,500 US, and the Silver is $500 US. And remember, there is a carryover. Carryover for the Diamond is 100,000 PV. For Platinum is 62,500 PV. For Gold is 15,000 PV, and for Silver is 5,000 PV. Back to the example. You introduce A, B, X, Y, and Z. You have 5 legs. If your total volume from A group is 150,000 PV and from B group is 30,000 PV, then you get 10%, which is $3,000 US from B group, plus 50,000 PV from group X. You get 10%, which is $5,000 US, plus 20,000 PV from group Y. You get 10%, which is $2,000 US, plus 10,000 PV from group Z. You get 10%, which is $1,000 US. If you join as Silver, you can see that the multiplier bonus is only $500 US. It means only $500, $500, $500, $500, and that is a pity. Why? Because you could have received a total of $11,000 US here. But since you join as Silver, you only get $2,000 US. That's the first reason why joining as Silver is not very fruitful. The second reason why you should join as Diamond is the carryover. Watch carryover here, where the largest leg is A. What's the total of A? 150,000 PV. The lesser leg is B. If you see from B 30,000 PV, from X 50,000 PV, from Y 20,000 PV, and from Z 10,000 PV, makes the total of 110,000 PV, where after the subtraction you will have a 40,000 PV carryover. Now we return to this table here. Notice that if you join as Silver, then the carryover would not be 40,000 but only 5,000 PV. So you would lose a lot by joining as Silver. You may now ask, what is Silver and how much of an investment should I put in to join as Silver?